So pretty much with this right here, we could set up a system, lower somebody down, and we could also rig to raise if we wanted to go through and set that up. Since we're going to be putting much lower forces on things with a steep angle rescue, that allows us to use this gear, but we can make this to where it is very much system rated, and we're able to put a lot of forces on this, even though we don't exert that, but this should still be safe. The nice thing about this is we can also set up and use much smaller anchors that we would normally not consider bomb-proof, but going through testing and stuff, these anchors are actually incredibly strong, and they're able to hold a lot of force. So a couple different ways that we can set up an anchor with this system would be to use webbing. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways that we can do this. And usually if we're doing something, we want to try to stay up high, which is going to give us a little bit higher point to work off of. So to make our artificial high points, using webbing, if I were to wrap, this is going to be pretty long, right? It's also going to fall down on the tree. So there's a couple of different ways that you could shorten this up. One of them being, you're going to put your arm through, okay? You're going to put a twist. You're going to grab your webbing, take it through, and now it can cinch up. So that way, this should stay, okay? And now, even if I release tension, it's going to stay up on your tree. It's also giving you double in strength. So we've taken webbing that's essentially 22 kilonewtons, or about 5,000 pounds, and we've now turned that into a 10,000 pound anchor. So you can grab it that way. The issue with this is if you're going to set it up like this, you need to grab all four at once, which is going to make this system a little bit different, just in the fact that you're kind of going all off the same anchor. So you have that method. The other thing you could do is if you wanted to give yourself a lot more strength, and if you're using something that's a little bit smaller in diameter, you can take your webbing and you now have 4 points on each side. You can either girth hitch it, or if you had something like this, do the same thing where you're going through, take this, do your wrap, and now you actually have 8 pieces of webbing that you're grabbing, which incredibly strong. You have a lot of weight that you can bear on this, and it's grabbed on there. So that's one way that you can use those. Now the other way, okay, so here's 6 mil. You're going to take this and you can wrap it. Okay, so you have that coming out the front. You're going to take your rope, you're going to put a bite in it, gather all of your cord, and you're going to do an overhand.
And that stuff is 6 mil?
6 mil. Now they do have, I believe it's CMC, or no, it's Sterling. They have a cord that is much stronger. It's about the same diameter, but it's almost twice the strength. So this, now that we've grabbed that, it gives you, and you're kind of working with numerous loops. So you're almost giving yourself an anchor plate to use.
And you can use each of those individually, or do you want to double those up? So you have two.
So we'll use one individually, and then we're going to use one doubled up. The one that's doubled up is going to be our pressing. So this is going to be what is essentially giving us our capture. So this is going to be the most important part of this. So this is VT Pressic. If you guys want to take a look at that, it's got like aramid fibers. So that gives you a lot different configuration. So there's a bunch of different configurations that you can use that in. But the one that I'll show you guys is it's pretty easy. And so what we're going to do here, okay, so this is the Petzl Reverso. It's an ATC. So this is what we're going to use as far as our lowering. So the lowering system is going to be put into the single. Just because most of our weight, if we end up capturing, is going to be with the Pressic. So the way that this works is you're just going to take So this is going to go to our load. Okay. So you're going to take essentially a bite, put it through. Lock that on. Okay. And now the side that you're going to be lowering can go through either side, but if you want more friction, it's going to go through the side with the teeth or the grooves. That's going to give you the opportunity to pull back. Now there's a couple of different things that you could do. So one, you can use this brake
Unknown caller.
and hook through a carabiner. And what that's going to allow you to do is if you wanted to provide a little bit more friction, this is going to come through here and play out like that. Or you could unhook it and just run it through here. Now, you got the pressing. Okay? So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you hold this. There we go. Okay, now the configuration, Heinz took that other carabiner, didn't he?
No, it's on the BMK.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so what we're gonna do is you're gonna run this out. So you're gonna do what's called, or you're gonna do as many wraps as you possibly can. So that is going to go, we're gonna do our wraps going towards. So 1, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, then this is going to come up and over. You want this coming out the same way as the other strand. Okay, and have those line up. Now your Pressic, we're going to grab both of these loops and we're going to capture that. So now these are going to work together. So as O'Crotty lowers, he's going to have to mine this Pressic. Okay. Now if I were to lose it or something happens and I let go, that's going to extend out. It's going to grab. Now the nice thing about this configuration is it's actually really easy to, once it's captured. So our normal setup, our normal configuration, once you capture Pressic, you have to remove the tension off that line. This is just an easy pull. and we're back to lowering. I let out. Now the other thing is, the nice thing about these press-ix is usually you have to use a, you want to have 2 millimeter difference between your press-ix and your rope, but this is actually should be the same. Yeah, these are the same diameter and it's grabbing. Realistically, we would use this on like a 9.5 or 9 millimeter, but it's grabbing perfectly fine on this. So this would be how you would lower somebody, and like I said,
And that's just with a single line
this
for
just
lightweight stuff.
Single line.
Cool.
So we would use single line.
Why does this tool have that wire off it, that cord?
So that is one. It's a safety, so it's supposed to be. It keeps the device in place, but then it's also somewhat of a safety to make sure that you're putting it on properly and doing everything how it's supposed to. But your rope and this device are actually what's working together. This isn't doing anything.
Okay.
So it's just to keep it in place when you let go. And
When
Oh,
you're,
I
when
see.
you're using that, when you're using that device
I
as a
see.
rappel, it'll stretch all the way up to that cable.
yeah.